As you can tell, I have quite a spread of ingredients here. And there are some days where keeping things really simple and methodical, basic planning is what I need and probably what you need to just get through your day and get dinner on the table. Now, there are complex combinations involved in the following recipe. It's a nori wrapped salmon with some vegetables. Kind of looks like a sushi dish. All it takes is planning ahead, getting your salmon ready, getting some pieces sliced and ready to go, pre-assembling your seaweed so that it's in the right shape. So when you're ready, you just have it all like this. So this probably took me 20 minutes or so, but it's worth the while. I promise, wait till you taste this. It's insane. These are some rice paper rolls. Traditionally, they're used to roll like a Thai spring roll with some vegetables, sometimes seafood and tofu. And I'm gonna use them as a base to the wrapper because I'm gonna fry them later in a really shallow bit of olive oil, and this is what's gonna get the outside really crispy. So to get these ready, you just put them in a little bit of water, and I have a lovely shallow bit here. Here we go. And then you're gonna let this sit, and we're gonna do this process over and over again, where you keep coming back to this bit. I measured the size of my nori, which is lengthwise. The salmon's a little bit too wide for my nori. So what I did to get these bits right is I cut off just the edges, and I have a really good sharp knife here. So that looks about right now, right? So that, because the salmon's gonna go in the center of the nori. You don't want the salmon popping out the sides. Let's not forget about our perfect, almost ready. So we only have like 5 seconds. All I did was I took a really small knife, sharp, and I cut through the center of the salmon, not all the way down and not all the way to the sides, so that you create a lovely little pocket. To save us a little bit of time, I've pre-julienned, that just means slice them in thin slices, some shiitake mushrooms, ginger, snow peas, and carrots. You could throw in some of your favorite vegetables. These are just a lovely little combo. They add a little crunch and a little bit of flavor, and that's what we're gonna stuff the middle of the salmon little pockets with, and just stuff. And that's it. This is ready. So this would be piece one. Now we've got the rice paper. It's soft enough to roll, so it lifts off the plate. On top of the rice paper, I'm gonna put my seaweed. Just like that. Place this inside. The step I often forget, good thing I just remembered, is some salt and pepper. Little bit salt and pepper. I have the salmon about 1/3 of the way in. I'm gonna use my hands. You don't need any fancy tatami rolls or anything. Securing the salmon with my hands, I'm just gonna roll and tuck, a little bit like a burrito, and then roll. Really important is that the seam goes on the bottom, because when we fry it later, the seam will open if it's not. And this looks way harder than it is. It's actually super easy because the rice paper roll is really pliable. So we're gonna continue with a couple of these, and we're gonna go over and fry them. So perhaps my least favorite stage is frying these, only because sometimes I get splattered, so just beware that this is the messy part of the job. So we put some rice paper roll on the outside. The idea of the rice paper roll is that it stays crispy on the outside. I don't know, lots of days in Asia having rice paper rolls around all the time, and they're just a great base to get crisp. What you want in the center is a little bit of pink. It's not raw, so it's kind of like a cooked sushi roll, but you want it to be, slightly underdone, so it's lovely in the center. We'll see if we get it right. I like to get like the first little bit of the salmon slightly opaque from the bottom up, then the bottom bit is cooked through. Another little tricky bit is to try to get all the sides even, and if you can see, it's a little bit of a balancing game. These are all ready to go. All the outer edges are crisp. Don't lose your chopsticks in the pan and mess that up. Here we go. I've got some uncooked ones ready for me to go back in a second. So let's grab our favorite one. All right, so we're just gonna slice. I like to keep the end just because it keeps it a little bit organic looking, not so perfect. And I'm just gonna put this straight onto the platter. Here, let's put some wasabi on our countertop here, and we'll also put some wasabi on the platter. This sort of kills me because I spend a lot of time in Japan and we get the real stuff. You can kind of buy the powder and make your own. This is what we have, and this is what we're using. It's perfectly great. All right, let's dip a little wasabi. a little tamari. You can use soy sauce if you don't mind the gluten. Here we go. Insane. This is it's insane. Yes, you gotta make this. Beyond.